Why the Roblox whistle occurrence is so disturbing will be the question that I want to answer today. Over the last couple of months, this YouTube series has taken over the Roblox community, with everyone and their mother talking about it. So now it's my turn. I want to try and explore why this series has become so popular recently, even though the first video came out 2 years ago, and how it is one of the most disturbing Roblox media out there today. The YouTuber VibingLeaf is the one who developed the whistle occurrence series, with the help of their artist friend Caramelias, which at the moment has only 4 episodes, including a bonus one that isn't canon to the story that was released on April Fools of this year. The reason that this YouTube series has become so popular as of lately is thanks to the YouTuber BrianGXD, who covered it 2 months ago, which led to immense traffic and a lot more people talking about it. People have also made their own versions of the whistle occurrence, like someone apparently experiencing it within Grow a Garden. A few weeks ago, another video was released, so sit back and relax as I take a deep dive into the Roblox whistle occurrence creepypasta and explain why it is so disturbing. The first entry for this series is simply called Roblox Whistle Occurrence, which is 2 minutes and 22 seconds long. After 2 seconds of black screen, the video begins showing a bacon-haired character named Helen Martin 39 playing some old school shooter game on Roblox, set in the desert. They are going around the map using the many weapons they have been given to kill other players. They start by trying to kill someone named Mystery Nolo until 16 seconds into the video, where the footage then freezes for 6 seconds. We see that Helen Martin was killed and the player character ragdolls very disgustingly on the floor. Something that doesn't actually happen much in Roblox, especially during the old school times. There was no oof, and their character doesn't break down like Lego. It just collapses like a real person when killed. Even before anything disturbing actually happens, this already starts to make us subconsciously uneasy, more from the fact that it came after the video froze for a few seconds. It just looks like a Roblox Live Leak clip. Helen Martin then respawns and re-enters the battlefield, and this is when things start to get weird. As they play the game, a sound starts to get louder and louder in the background, as the screen becomes darker and contrasted. This sound starts to become whispering as the in-game sounds from the shooting of the guns are completely removed, and we can only hear the whistle. The sky becomes black until finally a figure appears in front of the player. It is a large but skinny shadow creature who asks, "Do you hear the whistle?" The player list also removes all the players except Helen Martin, but a name in Hebrew also shows up. This word translates to flowers, which is the name of this entity, the creature that this creepypasta focuses on. After it asks, "Do you hear the whistle?" Flowers disappears as Helen Martin equips an assault rifle to try and find it again. And getting on top of the buildings, the whistle stops, and Helen Martin carries on trying to find flowers. The footage then becomes black until 1 minute 28, it freezes once again. It cuts to black until immediately cutting to footage of flowers as the figure starts to contort its body, stretching in horrifying ways as it screams. After a few seconds, flowers disappears, and all you can see is some blurry background. The player's client then disconnects them from the game. For anyone to experience this on Roblox, it would be horrifying. Having your whole game start to corrupt in front of you, and then having some sort of unknown entity appear as well, and start stretching itself, would give anyone nightmares. What makes this even more upsetting is that you would assume Helen Martin must be a child. The official Helen Martin 39 Roblox page has a description of, "I love games and my parents," meaning we can assume that this person is under the age of 10, so experiencing this would haunt them for the rest of their lives. Flowers is a disturbing entity in itself, for the way it contorts its body. But this is not the end. The story gets far more disturbing than this. The next entry is called Whistle Roblox, being 2 minutes and 46 seconds long, and is said to be the earliest sighting of flowers, being all the way back in 2007, showing how this entity has always been a part of Roblox, all the way at the very beginning. The video begins with a player named VibingLeaf, obviously named after VibingLeaf, alongside their friend MTG1531, playing an old Roblox game by the title Dodge the Teapots of Doom. But you guessed it, they have to dodge teapots that are falling from the sky. The video at the start is pretty normal. It has 2 people playing the game, with Marek music in the background. When VibingLeaf dies, you hear the classic Roblox oof, and they break apart like Lego. So again, it is normal for Roblox. Everything seems fine. However, the next time VibingLeaf dies, oof is bass boosted, and the video cuts to them being alive again at the same position. Then, seconds later, they die again, with a mean laugh track being played. It is purposely edited this way, which shows the style of old YouTube. 37 seconds into the video, and text displays saying that the teapots have become less evil, and the difficulty has decreased to 5. However, VibingLeaf is still buns at the game and gets clobbered by a teapot. After more deaths and funky sound effects, at 1 minute and 20 seconds, VibingLeaf reaches the end of the game, and the teapots increase their difficulty to 11. He wins, and victory text is edited onto the video. Smile victory. A yellow sphere then appears, and starts to contort in the background, displaying a disturbing looking face as a large bass boosted sound is blasted into our ears. Flowers makes itself known, as it reshapes itself constantly within a black and blue screen. The footage then quickly cuts to Roblox characters sliding across a red video that looks like flesh moving about. Text says, "Hear the whistle, cover your ears," linking back to the first entry when Flowers said, "Do you hear the whistle?" We then cut back to VibingLeaf, who now stands on a red base plate, with the sky also being red and black. Flowers appears and starts to become larger and larger, until cutting to a black screen that says, "Do you hear the whistle?" For a split second, an image of a document can be seen that explains the whistle. Apparently, if you encounter the whistle, there has been a report that it will cause seizures to people who hear it, whilst also causing loss of consciousness and potential injury, meaning this sound that Flowers causes is very dangerous for players. The video ends with VibingLeaf back in Dodge to Teapots of Doom, with text at the end saying, "Thanks for watching." So now we know a little more about the disturbing history of Flowers. We know how it's existed since at least 2007, and how this whistle it also creates causes seizures in the people who hear it. This must be caused by the high frequencies it emits, which shuts down the brain. This is horrifying, and for this to be in Roblox, going after children makes it even worse. The third entry of the series is also the longest, sitting at 10 minutes and 58 seconds, and is called WHISTL'RBLX.OBBY. This video gives more information of what Flowers can do, and starts by showing us 3 friends named Glob921, Shrek360, and Colin Martinez 10. This group of friends are recording a YouTube video where they are playing a normal Roblox game. Well, normal for now. For the first 2 minutes of the video, it's completely normal. The group of kids are having fun as they parkour through the obby. They are beefing with one another, making jokes, and just having a good time. This is until Shrek starts to overtake the other 2 kids, and all of a sudden, the game freezes, and Shrek completely disappears. He seems to have disconnected mid-recording. His game must have crashed, or maybe he just had to go because his mum called him or something. Because Shrek has left, Glob tells his viewers that they most likely have to leave as well. His game continues to be a bit laggy until Shrek comes back. His game must have just crashed. However, Shrek starts to speak very strangely, saying hello with a full stop, and following that by saying, "Nice to see you again, friends." No normal person speaks like that, let alone a child. He speaks very robotically. It's not formal speech. It's as if something that isn't human is trying to communicate in English. Glob makes his way back to Shrek at the beginning of the obby to talk to him as he's confused by the way he speaks. Shrek carries on saying friend over and over again until Glob's game crashes. After loading back in, it seems Colin also crashed, but Shrek didn't. Strange. Almost like Shrek isn't a normal player. This also makes Glob realize that this can't be him. Something has taken over his account. After Glob says how he is concerned about the way Shrek is speaking and asks if he's even their friend, Shrek reveals their true identity. He begins to contort into flowers, as proven by the fact that their name tag is replaced with the Hebrew word for flowers, with the word also appearing in the top right corner. Flowers has taken over Shrek's account, being able to mimic him to the best of its ability, even though it's very poor at doing so. After that disturbing occurrence, the group then comes back together within another game. Shrek has regained access to his account, and the kids discuss the footage they have just captured. Instead of reporting it to Roblox moderation, they just decide to upload the footage to YouTube and make bank as the video will get tons of views. Absolute baller mindset. Colin is reluctant to the idea as he is scared, so Glob calls him a cornball. This entry to the series is one of the most important as it provides a lot of information on what the Flowers entity can do. It shows another power that Flowers has, being that it can invade people's accounts and possess them, taking over their identity. It probably uses this to lure more victims, trying to create a false sense of security until revealing itself and using its whistle to give them more seizures. The fourth entry for this series is technically not an official entry, and instead an April Fool's parody video that VibingLeaf made. However, it's still very important, as even though it's not part of the official playlist, it helps give a lot more information about Flowers, as well as setting up the timeline for the series. Like I said, this video is a parody, mimicking the TikToks you probably have seen where a text-to-speech voice explains Roblox stories, with font appearing on the screen, and Roblox.OBBY gameplay is being shown in the background. This TikTok is done by iShowJohnDoe, and is about the famous Roblox hacker known as Flowers, or the Whistler. Footage is shown from the past 3 videos, and the TikTok explains that Flowers is a hacker who has killed people, most likely caused by the whistle giving people seizures. However, it is not known whether the people in the videos we saw have died, since at the end of each one, it seemed like they were okay. Helen Martin is said to be the most recent victim of Flowers, maybe insinuating they have died, or they are being called a victim as they interacted with Flowers, not that they have actually died. This does tell us, however, that the first Whistle Occurrence video is the latest in the timeline, with Whistle Roblox being the earliest, and the Roblox.OBBY happening in between the two at some point. This video is not just an explanation in TikTok on the history of Flowers, but actually leads into something disturbing itself. The text-to-speech voice stops even though they are still talking, and then the Roblox character that is on the screen starts to contort and look at the camera. This all happens in complete silence, making it even more terrifying. Flowers seems to have possessed this video, and the Roblox character begins to stretch until becoming dark and even more stretched. The video then cuts back to normal, saying never to interact with flowers. Even though this is a video and not Roblox, it seems flowers can possess other forms of media as well, showing how truly powerful this entity is. The final entry for this series, which was only released 2 weeks ago, is called Occurrence Livestream Tragedy and is 8 minutes long, being the most disturbing out of all 5. This again seems to be an older version of Roblox, meaning this has happened sometime in the past. Given how the client looks, it must be before the Roblox.OBBY video and after the one that took place in 2007. It begins with a loading screen as Kevin, the protagonist for this video, is setting up his stream. The gamer tag is TorchwoodYT, and he actually speaks in this video, being voice acted by Mr. NoBodT.
I created multiple alt accounts, and bought, some Roblox stuff, and they repay me by banning me.
Kevin has made multiple alt accounts on Roblox due to being constantly banned for toxic behavior, which he denies. After going up to an NPC, he calls it ugly, displaying his toxic personality. This NPC just says here and ears covered, so Kevin pushes it off the cliff. Those two little phrases show the NPC is linked to the whistle, as Flowers wants you to hear it, and you must cover your ears if you don't want to have a seizure. The game then freezes and goes fully black, similar to the original Whistle Occurrence video. The world then goes completely red, until an error message pops up on the screen showing a Builder Man image. This image then starts to corrupt as well. Until Kevin appears in another game, different from the one he was just in. He is also surrounded by a ton of NPCs who, when spoken to, say a bunch of debug code. However, they soon start to make sense, with one saying how Kevin has violated the terms of blank, relating to his toxic behavior and how he makes a lot of Roblox accounts to get past his bans. Another says that ban evasion will lead him nowhere. Later on, one of the NPCs says some code talking about Roblox security and something named Flowers, and how it's been successfully launched. This implies that Flowers was made by Roblox. It was a moderation tool used to stop people who went against their terms of service. The whistle starts to play as Kevin shouts and screams.
What is happening? I can't move. I can't move.
Kevin returns, still being in the place he was just in. He thinks it is a troll and is about to end the stream. The whistle returns and Kevin repeats the phrase, I can't, over and over again.
I can't. I can't. I can't. I can't.
This could be a recording mimicked by Flowers, or him having a possible seizure. Flowers makes their presence known, appearing in the sky. It grows to an extraordinary size, looking like the Mind Flayer from Stranger Things. This shot is incredibly done, and it's just horrifying to look at. The footage then cuts back to the game, and Kevin is no longer speaking. Instead, we hear his sister coming up to his room, questioning why he's being so loud.
What is wrong with you? Why are you being so loud?
She repeats his name with no response.
Kevin? Kevin? Kevin?
She then screams as he's not moving and yells at her mother to call an ambulance.
Oh God! Mom, something's wrong with Kevin! He's not moving, he's shaking! He's not getting up! I'm scared, Mom! You need to call an ambulance! Something's wrong with Kevin!
Flowers has caused him to have an epileptic seizure, and now he is unresponsive, possibly dead. Now, I don't think this is saying that Roblox has made a security tool that causes players who go against their terms of service to die, even though that might help in stopping the amount of predators and condo servers that are on the platform. Instead, I believe Flowers began as a moderation tool that grew sentient and became some sort of malware. This caused it to go crazy and start killing kids who broke the rules. Hearing the screams of Kevin's sister was so upsetting, as she found her brother most likely dead, and it sounded so real. Now let's talk about what's actually going on. At this point in time, we know that Flowers is a security system that was made by Roblox in the early days as a moderation tool to stop people from breaking their rules. However, it must have gained sentience or had glitches in its coding, caused it to become some sort of malicious malware that used the instructions that it was given to stop rule breakers and use it as a baseline as it attacked players using a whistle. The whistle has a high enough frequency that it causes seizures in the people who listen. That's why there are so many warnings to cover your ears. That is the only way to protect yourself. Who knows how many victims Flowers truly has, or the true reasons why it was made. I'm looking forward to future videos that VibingLeaf makes, as this is one of the most unique Roblox horror medias out there today. And Flowers is such a terrifying entity. Games have also been made covering the Whistle Occurrence, and Flowers is planned to be a killer within Forsaken. So if you want to experience this in game, go play those, but be careful and cover your ears.